Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, November 16th, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, 2020. The models are in. We just got the next 3 hours in the package, and they're showing heavy snow. Well, the lake effect snow machine is on for the northeast, and heavy snow moving into the northwest. But the big story, Hurricane Iota, now Cat 5 storm, making landfall on Central America now. Keep calm, it's boom time. In fact, one of the strongest storms in Atlantic history of the season is making landfall. Hurricane Iota currently, let's check out the last update. Where is it at? 155 miles per hour, Cat 5 storm. Iota is a catastrophic hurricane. Extreme winds and life-threatening storm surge are expected along portions of the coast of northeastern Nicaragua during the next several hours, where a hurricane warning is currently in effect. Life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding is expected through Thursday across portions of Central America due to the heavy rainfall. Flooding and mudslides in Honduras and Nicaragua could be exacerbated by the Hurricane Ida's recent effects there, resulting in significant to potentially catastrophic impacts. Well, need we say more? So in the morning or tomorrow evening, we will be updating you on some of the footage from the destruction of Iota. Let's change it over to record snowfall in the west. Here's your 72-hour snowfall analysis, and you can see that northern Maine, as predicted, received heavy snow up to 8 inches in a large swath up in the northern tip. Some light snow moving into the Great Lakes. That will be eclipsed over the next 24 hours, and we'll show you those models in just moments, but through the west, 18 to 24 inches down through the Cascades and into Oregon, and heavy swaths of snow up to 3 feet falling in Idaho, as well as Wyoming. We're going to keep a close eye on that, and the snow pack is looking fantastic. If we just come over to Colorado, according to SnowTel, the current snow water equivalent is 100% for the entire state, a little higher in the southwest, 114 in my region, and 145 in the upper Rio Grande. But that pales in comparison to the earth-tilting totals up in the northwest. From 150% snowpack to 270%, 449 above normal, 664 above normal in parts of Oregon. This is great news for these areas because they're in major drought, and big thumbs up. Remember when they said it wasn't going to snow? How about 664% more than the average snow over the last 40 years? Take a look at this. Statistics don't lie. Global warming is a lie. And the snow is back, baby. Lake effect snow machine to fire up early this week for the Great Lakes. A potent storm will bring gusty winds across much of the northern tier. They did over the last 24 hours. 500,000 people without power up near the Great Lakes. That's what was the beginning of your week. But through Sunday night, there was localized tree damage, lakeshore flooding, localized power outages, travel disruption, and winds up to 80 miles per hour. And here, the Detroit News covering it. When I saw this headline earlier this morning, I realized over here at Power Outage US that there was actually 450,000, and they were claiming there was just 200,000 homes. So there were 400,000 homes at the time of the article, and right now there's still 300,000 in Michigan and Ohio without power. 300,000. You add in the rest, and it's approaching 500,000 in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and Connecticut. And I'm sure with the added lake effect snow, those numbers will go up. Now let's check the GFS. If you're worried about lake effect, here's your next 6 hours. And it's going to be falling up in Pennsylvania heavily, in those New York bands, all the way down into West Virginia. Take a look at that. That is through Wednesday morning. Yep. So the next 18 hours is going to bring hours and powers, probably 3 to 5 inches in most areas of lake effect, but heavy snow moving into the northern Sierras here, and it's going to be dipping down. Take a look, Wednesday, into Idaho, into Oregon, and Thursday, well, there's going to be more snow, especially in Oregon. Heavy snow in Oregon, and all we have is 90 hours parsed up here. So the most significant lake effect should be offshore here into Pennsylvania based on this model. But the entire Northeast should get snow. Some heavy snow forming in the southern Appalachians here down through Snowshoe. So they'll be very happy for skiing down there. It looks like they're just going to get maybe 3 or 4 inches. But the heaviest snow in Idaho, coming in 14, 16 inches in those mountains, adding to that snowpack, which is excellent news. Unsettled weather for the Northwest, warm temperatures spreading across the U.S. Unsettled weather will continue across the Pacific Northwest and into the northern Rockies this week as several fronts sweep gusty to high winds, heavy low-elevation rain, and mountain snow through the region. Above normal temperatures will spread across the east and the contiguous U.S. this week from west to east. Temperatures 15 degrees above normal are likely in the central states. Well, we'll see if that happens. Now, the Old Farmer's Almanac just released its predictions for winter. And you know what that means? Well, pretty much nothing. So there's that. I don't even think we'll cover it. No, we won't. Seismic update. There is a quake of note here in the Appalachian region, 2.58 kilometers southwest of Wildwood Lake, Tennessee. And the New Madrid is getting jiggy. Not really. It's been pretty much at this level for 3 years. Worldwide volcano news update. No volcanoes of note. Kluchiskov is getting a little bit more active, puffing regularly to 20,000. And Stromboli had a spectacular eruption earlier today, and let's just parse that up. It's well worth the look. It took people by surprise, just like any deadly volcanic blast would. And let's just come see. Oh, some other minor upticks that we might take note. Reventador, lava flow, and eruption continuing there. And here we see that spectacular, stronger than usual explosion occurring at Stromboli, which is totally delicious. Take a look at that. Yes. Pacaya increased activity with a new fissure vent reported. Clearly, you could see 1, 2, and 3 here. I don't know if they noticed that little back there in the middle, but definitely a triple eruption there. And that, by the way, is a boom. Another boom. Antarctic sea ice is at the 3rd highest level since records have been kept. Now, it is true Antarctic sea ice peaked back in 2016 with this bombastic total. But we have just exceeded the 3rd highest level and have now gone into the top 3. Yes, as of yesterday. Antarctic sea ice extent is at the 3rd largest ever recorded. Now, how the first farmers changed history? Well, they set us up for GMOs, unfortunately. But let's just go over the history that I'm aware of in my lifetime. When I entered academia back in the 80s, farming started around 7,800 years ago. And in the last several decades, farming was increased to 8,000, 9,000 years in Turkey, and 10 and 12,000 years right during the Younger Dryas event at the base of glaciers. And now, well, these days, it's pushed way back. The first evidence of farming in the Mideast 23,000 years ago in this paper in 2015, which is not the furthest back we can push farming. And it's my opinion that we can push farming to 47,000 and maybe even 80,000 years ago. But just based on the data in this paper, people clearly knew what they were doing when they were cultivating grains. Not only that, in these sites, 23,000 years old, there are grain mills with metates and slabs, the same exact grain mills that the Native Americans were using just 800 years ago. So if they were using those grain mills 23,000 years ago and still 800 years ago, it makes you think. If just 2 decades ago we believe farming started 9,000, 10,000 years ago, and now we think it started 23,000 years ago, when did it actually start? And that is the premise of a podcast coming up on Oppenheimer Ranch Project in the coming hours. So stay tuned for that. Now, another podcast we'll be doing on magnetic reversal news shortly, exclusively, is on this paper. The Big Bang never happened. You've heard me say it before, that our universe is probably infinite and has been here for quite some time. And 13 billion years pales in comparison to the amount of time I believe it's existed, which is uncomprehendable by the masses. by the way. 1 billion is 1,000 million. So 8 billion or even 13 billion, let's go there, would be 13,000 million years. And we can't even comprehend tens of thousands of years, let alone a million. But 18,000 million years? Hello! Stay tuned for that update. Now, the average temperature of the universe has been getting hotter and hotter, and they're blaming it on you. No, they're not. But they might as well. So if you want to know more about this, read the article or watch the podcast on Magnetic Reversal News on the topic. It's up to you. The World Economic Forum's Great Reset. Plan for big food benefits industry. Not people. Not small business. Well, and not you, because we know what the multinational corporations are feeding you, and it's poison. The food you eat is food for sheep if it comes from a box or a bag, period. And that was based on all the work I did against Monsanto over the last decade. Now, some more nonsense. Dogs are spreading SARS-CoV-2. Study finds living with a dog increases your risk of 85% of contracting the coronavirus. But the more deadly is ordering food delivered to your house from a supermarket. Read the paper. It's completely nonsensical. Masks and social distancing don't do anything. But removing your dog from your home, and if you stop ordering from supermarkets, home delivery, you'll be fine. Just go to Walmart, wear your mask. Now, I've been uploading the Sidney Powell, Lou Dobbs interview for 48 hours now on BitChute, and it's still processing. The censorship, the DDoS attacks, the hacking. It's basically put an end to alternative media, in my opinion. Now, there are still some fluff shills that are still allowed to do their podcasts, but most of us that are giving you the hard-cutting information are just not being allowed. I can't even put up a video on BitChute. After 48 hours, it's still processing. Now, that may have a twofold problem. One, BitChute is just a tiny venue that barely anyone's at, and one of the biggest tiny venues around, to make it more embarrassing. Brighteon, another fraud. MeWe and Parler and all those things, there's like 12 people there. So we've reached the cusp of the problem. Censorship, COVID-19 84, a brave new world. Are you ready? The Great Reset is coming. And Lee and I are going to be dissecting what the plans have been all along, in plain sight for you to see for over a decade, yet none of you have reacted. The most you'll do is to hit resend on Twitter or retweet or share it again on YouTube or another platform. Very few of you are going to your politicians at your local government, and, well, very few of you are doing anything. And all those people talking about civil war, well, that civil war will be ended in a second, because the entire world has been brainwashed since the 1950s. Yeah, that's 70 years, 3 generations of brainwashing. And the sheep and the snowflakes are complicit. The division is complete. The disinformation, 100. And for the limited few that are woke and watching the channel, that's just not going to cut it, in my opinion. Those channels saying that civil war is imminent and so on and so forth are basing that on a fantasy in their own minds. What will happen is the markets will fail. The Great Reset will happen. You will be getting the COVID passport and the microchip if you ever want to go anywhere, or you'll be with the resistance like us. You'll be prepping. You'll be prepared. Be able to provide 100% sustainable, clean food, air, and energy to the people living on your compound or your land. And you will be able to add people to the project. As the world shuts down and they feed the Soylent Green to the masses, we will be safe and healthy, and we will be called the problem. We will be the conspiracy theorists, while all you people become the AI. This is just how I see it. Hope you got something out of the video. Times are changing rapidly. We've been warning for 4 years about this. And now, just now, maybe 1% are scared of what's happening. And that is an embarrassment. To me, to you, to every loyal person, American and human on this planet that wants to live free and fairly, well, that is all coming to an end quickly. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. We love each and every one of you, but the shit has hit the fan. And that's a boom. Be safe. We love you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share this video. Be safe. And that's a boom.